Yo, what's up lads, you're with Budget Monkey and welcome to a new video. Here today I wanted to talk about actually inflation. This is to be in tandem with my previous video talking about INO and espionage ideas. So before we get started here, I want to showcase in my country modifiers that if we look at advisor cost reduction, we are smack bang at 65%. This is from the 25 and 15 being a total of 40 from our ideas. And we actually have a monastic order government reform, if I can find it, for 15. And I have just finished upgrading Athens. So just to sort of demonstrate, guys, this is about 85 years into the game, playing as a one province miner on very hard difficulty. So this is absolutely obtainable. There are obviously other ways, as I mentioned in my previous video, to gain advisor cost reductions, such as national ideas. You don't necessarily need Athens to be upgraded. You could also just simply be sitting on like 80% advisor cost reduction, and then you've got a state modifier or something. So with that being said, guys, 65% is your capacity, because if you take a look here, we have specifically admin, diplo, and military, which is bonuses from the estates, and therefore it doesn't actually apply, right, to the overall advisor cost reduction. But of course, those 25 puts you up to 90%, which is the true cap. So assuming you have those estate bonuses, which are available to anybody, 65% is the magic number. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire advisors which are of the appropriate culture, which can be upgraded just like that. And we're going to upgrade every single one of them here. So notice my advisor cost. This isn't hacking the game, this isn't cheating, this isn't breaking, guys. I played most of this game on stream. I've played about another 20 years or so, and our economy has gone places. And lo and behold, guys, we have I mean, just look how cheap this is. So this guy is half priced, clearly, which is actually a separate modifier. So keep that in mind, guys. Normally, you're looking for that multiplicative modifier, but when you actually reach the cap, you like the separate additive modifier there, 50% reduced cost. So he would be twice the price normally at about 3.8 each. And just so you guys know, normally the price to run 3 rank 5 advisors is just over 10 ducats, assuming you're at the advisor cost reduction. In our case, we're just under 9 ducats, and you can see I'm making positive income, and all of a sudden, just being a normal nation, we are on 445, but look at that insane amount of monarch points. This is a real game, and this is how I recommend you guys are playing the game. So finally, with that being showcased, the advisor cost reduction, I do want to say that it cost me about 600 ducats to hire and upgrade those advisors, which is also insanely cheap. It is expensive, but insanely cheap relative to what we're talking about. And the reason why is because firing advisors, hiring advisors, promoting advisors, everything to do with advisors is reduced by 90% cost. Really, really good. Now, with that being said, we're going to move on to talk about the topic of this video. This is why I so often do not recommend taking money in peace deals. In our case, we actually have a small modifier here from the Pope reducing inflation, but any inflation whatsoever. So let's take a look at our advisor cost here. If I take a loan, it increased by a very small amount, right? Now, if we look at inflation now that we have some, you can see the effects that it has on your country. It increases your everything by the same amount of the inflation, right? The cost of everything. So 0.1. If we had 1 inflation, it would increase the cost by 1%, 5%, 10%, etc. Well, what you'll see here is that that directly applies to your advisor cost reduction. Now, advisor cost reduction is the most significant variable, or it's the most significant modifier out of all of the things that it increases, in my opinion, because you have at least 25% reduced advisor cost reduction by default. So for people who don't know, when you have an increased modifier, say that let's talk about damage, okay? If you do 100% more damage, well, you do double the damage. But if you receive 100% less damage, you're now invulnerable. Do you understand? If it was war score cost, reduced war school cost by 100% means war school cost no longer exists. So when something reaches 0, it has infinite value. And I'm actually going to pull out my calculator here to try to demonstrate that to you guys. I know for a fact that this math sort of happens to be accurate. Advisors are around 100 ducats, okay? 3 rank 5 advisors are around 100 ducats per month. If you reduce that by 90%, you to get that result, you would just multiply by 0.1, because 1 is 100%, right? 100 times 1 is 100. And to get that 10% remainder, we're going to multiply by 0.1. So this is very accurate. You can see, well, I'm using a round number, but you can see if that guy wasn't half price, it's actually this, the starting value costs about 100 and their final cost equals about 10 with 90%. If we were on 10 inflation, well, it's pretty obvious that it would be doubled, guys. So it'd be doubled times 0.2 excuse me, 100 times 0.2 would be 20 ducats. So actually having 10 inflation or anywhere in between, 5 inflation is going to increase our advisor cost by this logic by 50%. 10 is going to double it to 100%. So despite how it might seem that 10% is actually 100% in reality. And this is why I recommend staying away from inflation, not taking money in peace deals, and instead taking war reparations and transferring trade power when it benefits you, is to get yourself into this nice position. You don't need to be running rank 5, guys. You could be running rank 5 of just the advisor which is most valuable to you at any given time. Like in my case, I'm trying to do divine ideas. Or you could be running rank 3 or rank 4 early, depending on what you can afford. But I just hoped to show you guys the extremity of the situation here, guys. This is a 100% legitimate playthrough where I am running rank 5 advisors essentially for the rest of the game. And what's very important is to keep our inflation low. And as my economy, I still have corruption that I had from the early game. It took me a long time to build up something that resembles an economy. And you don't want to have that inflation there if you can avoid it, guys. And that's why I typically don't take money from peace deals. I hope that this benefited you and that you learned something. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.